This is a Spring Boot Kafka messaging implementation. In the index, there is a how to run, dependencies required, Kafka properties for producer, Kafka properties for consumer, producer main logic, consumer main logic, then the Kafka CMD which we have performed at the start, then Kafka dictionary. When we have started the learning the Kafka, that time we have did some extra things like for the Kafka, you know that we do require the Java home, so that we had configured that time. We had, I think, we have given the wrong value for that, so we had to recorrect it by going to into the environment properties. Then we do need the zookeeper and Kafka server broker. So this we can start this servers or zookeeper and Kafka server by using the CMD, or you can start it by using the Docker as well. So in this project we have the cab driver and the cab user, two services. So these two services will going to communicate by using the Kafka message queue. So in that in the cab driver service, the cab driver will going to send the sample location to the cab user through the Kafka topic. So in the fourth, so we will be going to hit the HTTP localhost 8090/location, so that it will start sending, the cab driver will send the location to the cab user for 1 minute. So this is the put request. After that we have the cab user, the console for location updates coming from the cab driver to Kafka broker to cab user. Okay, so for implementing the Kafka project, we do need two dependencies. First, obviously Spring Starter Web, and the main dependency is the Spring Kafka. Okay, the dependency required for Kafka implementation is Spring Kafka. After that, the required Kafka properties for the producer is Spring Kafka producer. Listen again, Spring Kafka producer. Listen again, spring.kafka.producer. Then we do need bootstrap server, key serializer, and value serializer. Here you should take a note, we do need a serializer, not the deserializer. Other important properties for a producer which we haven't used in this project, but they are the important. It is the Spring Kafka dot producer dot acts and retries. Okay, acts is equals to all, so this is for acknowledgement. This ensures all the messages will reach to the topic properly. And the retries, if the communication failed to communicate with the topic by the producer, it will retry 3 times or 4 times. You can provide the number there. So retries, retries 3. So then we have the required Kafka properties for consumer. Again, the little bit same properties. We have to start from spring.kafka.consumer. Listen again, spring.kafka.consumer. Listen again, spring.kafka.consumer. Then we do need a bootstrap server, that is a localhost 9092, which is a Kafka server. Then we do need key deserializer, value deserializer, and group ID. Group ID is optional here. So there are 3 properties which we do require for consumer. Spring Kafka.consumer.bootstrap server 1, then second one is key deserializer, and then value deserializer. Here we have to use the deserializer as we have to deserialize the message in the string deserializer, or we can use also the JSON deserializer if we get the response, if we want the response in the JSON format. Then we do have other important properties for consumer also. Here the spring.kafka.consumer auto offset reset. Okay, auto dash offset dash reset. It has a 2 value, earliest or latest. I think you know what does it mean. You can by using this property you can receive the messages from the start or the current. If it is earliest, you will be getting all the messages. If it is latest, you will be getting from where you have started receiving. In the producer main logic, The section is producer main logic. In the producer main logic, first we have to create a bin of topic. That is a new topic. We have to return the new topic bin. So for that, we do need a config Kafka config. In the config folder, we have to annotate with @configuration. There we have to create a bin of a topic which will return a new topic. How we can build the bin? We have to return topic builder dot name, then we have the dot replicas dot partitions, and then dot build. That's it. After that, the service publishes the cap's current location to the configured Kafka topic using Kafka template. So for the Kafka template, we have to use now producer so that we can send the location to the Kafka topic. So for that, you have to go to the where your actual services belongs. So now we are in the phase of actual producer main logic. We have created the bin of topic. Now we want to use the Kafka template to send the message. Here we have to inject the bin of Kafka template. In the generics, we have the string comma object. So string is a topic type, and the object is the string which we are going to send. So here we have inserted there, just place there the object instead string. So you can place there the string as well if you want to send the string, or you can also give the object as well. So we have injected the bin of Kafka template in the generics string comma object and then the Kafka template. So by using that Kafka template object, we can send the location. How? Kafka template dot send is the method to send the location to the topic. So in the send method, we have to give the topic comma data. Like this, we have sent the location. We have sent already sent the location to the Kafka. Now we are in the consumer main logic. To get that message from the Kafka topic, we have to use the annotation called as Kafka listener, @Kafka listener. It would take topics. Note here it is topics, not just topic. Topics is equals to double inverted comma. In that comma, you have to give the topic. Here it was cab location. Then you have the group ID. So you have to give in it in the brackets like @Kafka listener topics is equals to double inverted comma cab location comma group ID. Here group, then I is capital, then D is equals to double inverted comma user group. You can provide any group here because we haven't described any or provided any group in the producer or created any group. So even if you don't provide here, it will be fine. Then we can get the location. So we have to put this annotation and these values above the method so that just like the uh, where we receive the response from the API, actually from the front end in the Spring Boot. So same thing we have to do here. Instead of get mapping or put mapping, something like that, we have to give the Kafka listener, @Kafka listener, then topics, then group ID. That's it. After that, we'll be going to revise what we have. For running this project, we do need, just as I said, we do need a zookeeper and the server Kafka server. And Kafka server is very important here. It will be going to run on 9092 port number. We can run by using the Docker as well, but here we have performed some CMD commands when we started learning the Kafka. So I'll be going to revise all of these CMD commands which we have performed that time. So first command updated the log paths. In first commands which actually we actually performed that time was the first we have updated the log paths in the config so that all the logs will go in that file. We have edited the config slash zookeeper.properties and config slash server.properties. There we have changed the log paths. Then we have second start the zookeeper. We have started the zookeeper by going in the root directory of zookeeper folder, which you have to download from their server. So here we are using, I think, we are using 3.9.0, Kafka 3.9.0. So when we go into the root directory of the Kafka of the Kafka 3.9.0, you have to run this command to start the zookeeper dot slash bin slash windows slash zookeeper server start. Okay, in that there is a hyphen, zookeeper hyphen server hyphen start dot bat. Then we have to give the config as well of it, so that they can store the, sorry, they can take the all the properties of zookeeper to start. So dot slash config slash zookeeper dot properties. So repeat, I will be going to repeat again, dot slash bin slash windows slash zookeeper server start dot bat. Then we have to give the properties, dot slash config slash zookeeper dot properties. Then it will start the zookeeper uh, before Kafka. Okay, we have to start this before Kafka. Then we have to start the Kafka broker. This is the third point. Dot slash bin slash windows Kafka server start dot bat. Kafka server start bat. Then we have to get the properties, dot slash config slash server dot properties. This will start, this Kafka broker or server will start on the 9092 port number. Then fourth point is create a topic. So this is not required if you are performing the implementing the Kafka using Spring Boot, but if you don't want to implement by using the Spring Boot, you have these commands extra which we have actually performed to understand the Kafka in depth. So here we have the created a Kafka topic. For creating a Kafka topic, you do need dot slash bin slash windows slash Kafka topics dot bat minus minus create, or I mean hyphen hyphen create hyphen hyphen topic test topic. You can give the name of topic here, and then hyphen hyphen bootstrap server localhost 9092. That is the bootstrap server, means the Kafka server. You can provide anywhere anything value. Okay, here it is not compulsory to create a topic before bootstrap or bootstrap after the topic. There is a nothing specific structure here. You can give alter the position of the attributes as well. Okay, arguments there. So for starting the console producer and console consumer, we have to go to the dot slash bin slash windows slash and start the Kafka console slash Kafka console producer dot bat. Then we have to give the topic hyphen hyphen topic name, that is the test topic, and then hyphen hyphen bootstrap server, that is the localhost 9092. Same with the console consumer. We have to go to the slash bin windows slash, this is the 6th point. Then we have to go to the slash bin windows slash Kafka console consumer dot bat, Kafka console consumer dot bat. Then hyphen hyphen topic, give the topic, that is the test topic. Then hyphen hyphen bootstrap server, that is the local host 9092. So after starting in the, we have started the Kafka producer and Kafka consumer. So go to the Kafka producer console terminal, and there you can type the message you will be going to receive on the Kafka consumer terminal map. Okay, you will be going to receive that message on the Kafka consumer terminal. So which batch files we have performed? Here we have performed the zookeeper server start, then Kafka server start. Listen once again, zookeeper server start, Kafka server start dot bat, zookeeper server start dot bat, Kafka server start dot bat, Kafka topics dot bat. Here it's topics, not topic. Kafka topics bat, Kafka console producer dot bat, Kafka console consumer dot bat. So zookeeper server start the zookeeper service for Kafka coordination. Kafka server start the Kafka broker, that is the instance. Kafka topics, to manage the topics, create list, describe, delete, alter. Kafka console producer allows sending messages. Kafka console consumer allows reading messages. Then we have the Kafka dictionary. Okay, in that dictionary we haven't discovered a lot of things, but still I'm going to revise all of this. You can skip as well. So in the dictionary, broker, offset, zookeeper, value, replication factor, lag, Kafka streams, poll, cluster, topic, partition, offset, producer, consumer group, zookeeper, kraft, which is a new, it does not require a zookeeper server, record, Key, value, serializer, deserializer, acknowledgement, or you can say that acts, replication factor, leader, follower, retention period, lag, dead letter queue, DLQ, schema registry, Kafka Connect, Kafka Streams, controller, compaction, batch, poll, rebalance, idempotence, and exactly once semantics, EOS. That's it. Thank you.